The definition of Emunah is faith. Bitachon means trust and reliance. And Emunah is like the tree, and bitachon are the fruits. Bitachon is basically Emunah in action. The foundation of Emunah is gratitude and being present, accepting the current state, accepting the moment and the state that we are in. Now, that doesn't mean that the current state is exactly what we wanted, but that's actually exactly where Emunah comes in. Because if we have faith that everything in our lives, all the details, are exactly what is right for us, then we'll be able to be present in the moment and take the necessary actions that we need to in order to move forward in life. So the opposite of Emunah is constantly thinking about the past or constantly worrying about the future. When we do that, we can't take actions from bitachon. We can't take actions to move forward, because the first step is acknowledging where we are at, accepting where we are at. So that's why Emunah is so important, and Emunah is the tree and bitachon is the fruits. So when we look at our lives and we accept the good and we accept the not so good, then we can acknowledge where we are at, take full ownership of where we are, and then make the necessary actions. But if we hate the present moment, if we're resisting the tide, then we're not going to be able to take any actions that are in correlation with where we are currently. That's why gratitude is so important. Because when we're grateful, not just for the good, but for the challenges, we agree that everything is the right thing for us, that everything is in direct proportion with who we are. Nothing happens by accident. Everything is who you are being reflected on the outside. When we acknowledge that and we agree with God, because everything in our lives is what God wants to be. Everything in our lives is a direct reflection of who we are. So when we agree and we take ownership of our lives, we take ownership of ourselves as well. Because once again, the outside is a reflection of the inside. So when we take ownership, then we can clearly see the actions that need to be taken. And we're not taking actions without first acknowledging where we are. It's kind of like if you're at the shooting range. You got to take into consideration how far you are from the target. You got to take into consideration your exact position as it relates to the target. Only then can you aim properly and take the shot. But if you don't acknowledge where you're at, if you don't acknowledge the distance between you and the target, then you won't take into consideration the gravity that's going to pull down the bullet. And you might aim too low. Or you might aim straight, but then gravity pulls it lower and you don't hit your target. So before bitachon comes in, before trust and action comes in, we need to have Emunah, which is agreeing and acknowledging and taking ownership of our current position in life. And not fighting it or not hating it and not blaming it on this or that, but fully accepting that our lives are the way they are because of who we are. And if we want something to change, then we have to take ownership. Full ownership. Also, we need to realize that everything in our lives is in order for us to be motivated to make the necessary changes, for us to evolve. Our lives are the way they are, the good times and the challenging times, in order for us to go to the next level, in order for us to rise. Life is not just a place to be stagnant, a place to chill. Life is a place to give us the opportunities to raise our souls, to raise higher. So, once again, by having Emunah and taking full ownership of our current stage, of our current situation, and not resisting it, not hating it, not fighting it, but agreeing with it and taking ownership, then we can take actions necessary to go to the next level. Then we know clearly what the actions are that need to be taken for us to evolve, for us to go where we want to go. And there is the concept of kavanah. Kavanah means intention. It also means to aim. So when we take our actions, we got to take actions with kavanah. We got to take our actions with aim. Again, taking the shooting range example, once you acknowledge where you are, you accept where you are as it relates to the target, then you got to aim. And then you take your shot. So kavanah applies in prayer when we're speaking to the creator of the universe. If we don't have kavanah, then our words are going nowhere. So they need to be directed to the creator of the universe. And our sages tell us that we should only pray and ask for one thing at a time, which reinforces the idea of taking aim and not asking for a bunch of things that are unrelated. One thing at a time. One shot at a time. And when we take actions, we also have to have kavanah. Intention, aim. I'm taking this action and the aim is for it to go in that direction, so that God sees what's in our heart and then takes it in that direction. But if we don't have any aim, if we don't have any kavanah, then we can't expect to hit the bullseye. So first, emunah, gratitude, accepting where we are, taking ownership of where we are. Then we take aim with kavanah, and then we take action with bitachon. And only God knows exactly the route and the destination that is best for us. We're in the micro, we're in the details of life, but God is from a bird's eye view. He's in the macro. He knows our past life, where we've been. He knows our soul and where it's meant to go. So we take the best actions to get to where we think we need to go, but God uses that to lead us to the ultimate destination.